it's in the same sense that I think that, I've heard people, especially Noah Antweiler, the Spoony one, go ahead and say that he would have been, Ryan Reynolds would have been a better Kyle Rayner than he would have Hal Jordan. And I can see that. He's exactly right. I don't see where they thought that getting him to play Hal Jordan would have been a better idea. I don't. I really don't. And I know that a lot of people don't like Hal Jordan because he's really bland as a character and whatnot. But I like him. I like him because he is a pretty good space cop. I mean, he's clean cut, clean shaven, a good guy. Okay, sure, he's not much for humor, and recently he's been turned into the kind of military badass character that we know. I don't know, we could have done something different, anything different. I know he's just too bland, as a lot of people complain. I know that. But, at least he was honest, fearless, as stated originally in the comic books. And I don't know who else we could have gotten to be Hal Jordan, but we could have done better than Ryan Reynolds. I'll say that much. Somewhere. Who knows? Maybe an untapped new face to bring out. Just saying. Olivia Blakely as Carol Ferris. Well, I guess. bring a gossip girl in there. I don't know. It's bringing the comical comical doubting guy in there. I don't know what were we supposed to get out of that. She was there and she was pretty and she kind of gave the smart atmosphere off, but I didn't see her as a test pilot or the businesswoman that Carol Ferris is supposed to be. Didn't see it. I think we could have cast got anybody better. We didn't. And we really didn't. That was a tough role to fill, I guess, but in that sense, she's also a fine example of what I'm talking about. There's the same way with Peter Sarsgaard, who I think did as good a job as Hector Hammond as we could have got. As a matter of fact, he made him very interesting, and they made him very nerdy in that degree, and Sarsgaard captured that. I like that. It was the kind of reclusive bookworm that a lot of comic book geeks realize they are, and this could have been the kind of cautionary tale of letting this kind of character become what we don't like as villains in comic books, or maybe we do like. Ooh, there's something to consider. But as with Hammond and Ferris, we could have just not had them in this movie. It could have been all about Hal Jordan meeting the Corps, fighting Parallax. Green Lantern First Flight. We get Hal Jordan, meet the Corps, fight Sinestro. End of story. And, it's more on Sinestro in a minute. But, that three-way character arc we had, that could have been much better done. I mean, if we had focused more on Hal, his personal relationships with his two childhood friends and all that, that would have been a much more compelling film. It really would have gotten us there. Especially with Sarsgaard doing a very good job as Hector Hammond. Even to the point that he doesn't start out as a villain. We do get the concept of him being a good guy and of him having power, but it's just so thrown out there. He flat out says it, even during the confrontation. He says that he's gotten a taste of power and he's not going to turn back. We could have done better, period, on that. We could have done a hell of a lot worse. I mean, I really was expecting these characters to just come out, plot these lines, and not be the least bit engaging. But Sarsgaard was good. I liked him. As well as our other soon-to-be villain, Sinestro, played by Mark Strong. When I saw Mark Strong as Lord Blackwood in the Sherlock Holmes film recently done with Robert Downey Jr. and shucks, and the guy that played Holmes, Jude Law. I said, this is perfect. This is a dude that knows how to play that kind of commanding, domineering villain, you know. And he even does very good as Sinestro, as a good Green Lantern. He did great. I wanted more of him. We got more of him in the animated film, where we see him, we understand, we get where he's coming from. You know, he sees there's a problem, doesn't like the way things are being done, and acts on it. He wants more power. He realizes the Guardians aren't giving him more power. He takes more power in taking the Yellow Power Ring and taking the power of fear. That's good. Here for what time he's on screen, he's great. But that's just it. He comes out, delivers speeches, rattles sabers, and that's it. We don't really see him engage Parallax but for a little bit, and we don't really see him engage him for very long. I mean, jeez. It's a waste. It's a waste of very good talent. You had great Green Lanterns. You had Tomar-Re, who was voiced by Jeffrey Rush, who, in that sense, who is the keepers of the tales in the Corps in the comic books, as you know. You know, the guy that keeps the Book of Oa. He oversees the Book of Oa in the older continuity. And Jeffrey Rush is a very good character for that. The kind of older, wiser, experienced Green Lantern who has moved on to archivist work, who could still throw down with the best of them, but he's, like I said, the keeper of the tales, the storyteller. Kilowog, voiced by Michael Clark Duncan. Oh my God, I got excited the moment I heard his voice. The dude that played Kingpin in the Daredevil movie. Oh, I love seeing him everywhere. He's just such a commanding performance, period. A man who is, in his physical appearance, is big, commanding, deep-voiced, can really just hold you in awe of just his energy when he comes to a role. And as Kilowog, the drill instructor for the Green Lantern Corps, that's perfect. I mean, really. But it's a waste. That's what I'm talking about. We get Tomar-Re, we get Kilowog, and we get Sinestro, all played by very good actors, and we don't use them. At least in First Flight, and even in Emerald Knights, when we get the Peter J. Tomasi, I think it was Tomasi, who told or retold the origin story of Kilowog in the recent comic books, especially the Green Lantern Corps comic books, in the days leading up to Blackest Night. Oh, that was a very good story. You know, we learn what Kilowog's all about, who he is, what he does, and why he does it. That he sees, his mentor. In the comic books, it's Lantern Ermey, based on R. Lee Ermey, and in the film, the animated film, it's just a random but still good role of a character named Deegan, who instills in him what it means to be a Green Lantern. We get that. That's great stuff. But we only get a few minutes of Kilowog and a few minutes of Michael Clark Duncan doing what both do really well, and then that's it.